person receiving the Elizabeth Nobel Award this year has numerous professional accomplishments. She is a published author, conference speaker, course creator and instructor, leader and organizer, business and social media expert.
Her enthusiasm for pelvic PT, running, and blending the two together is stunning. Her service to expanding the knowledge base and tools people can use to recover from pelvic health impairments is exceptional. She has always acted with integrity and accountability, even in the face of obstacles.
Her commitment to educating physical therapists, assistants, and students, as well as the general public, is outstanding. She is a driving force behind the concept of not if, but how. Too many PTs in the very far distant past have placed limitations on their patients and others with dysfunction. This person has consistently sought to break down those barriers and provide resources for people to do what they love with whom they love. I know she has never told anyone, "You will never be able to run again." Her philosophy is not if you can, but how you can. What tools, resources, techniques, and strategies can be utilized to help patients reach their goals? She is helping people live the lives they want to live, and she is helping pelvic health providers help their patients live the lives they want to live.
She has created coursework on the topics of pelvic health and running, pelvic pain, and the use of dilators or vaginal weights in pelvic health rehabilitation. She has tools with different designs and qualities, showing an understanding that pelvic health is for all people. She has contributed to publications on the topic of postpartum return to running with diligence and a goal mindset. Her contributions to research don't end with the publications in which she has participated. For years, she has sponsored the Academy of Pelvic Health Research Award. This grant facilitates the continued body of research that shows the value of pelvic health physical therapy. She does all of this with a smile and a glowing affection for people.
We are proud and excited to announce that this year's Elizabeth Nobel recipient is
Dr. Amanda Olson.
I'm embarrassed to say I've broken one of these glass awards before, so I'm going to set it down. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. I give a lot of talks, but none of them are about me, so pardon me. I'm deeply honored to be the recipient of the Elizabeth Nobel Award. As I reflect on this, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for the journey that brought me here. I'd like to thank the Academy of Pelvic Health Physical Therapy and those who nominated me for this incredible recognition. I began my career in pelvic health physical therapy 15 years ago with a splash that has become a bit infamous, as my story quite literally involves me jumping off a cliff. I began my actual physical therapy career in pediatric physical therapy, working in the gait analysis lab at Shriners Hospital for Children in Portland, Oregon. And this experience merged my two passions for pediatrics and biomechanics. And I worked alongside engineers and biomechanists doing motion analysis studies on children with cerebral palsy, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, Down syndrome, and more, and conferring with the surgical team and participating in research. If you've taken my pelvic health and running course, my granular attention to joint angles and biomechanics was fostered here, and I've always been like this. But one weekend, shortly after I graduated from PT school, I found myself camping with friends on the Rogue River in beautiful Southern Oregon. And there's a 40-foot cliff that overhangs a deep and still part of the river, and a group of young men from the group were jumping off into the river. And though I'm not a thrill seeker, I'm also not one to back down from a challenge. So off the edge I went, and I want to reiterate, I already had a doctorate degree, so I should have been smart enough and old enough to know better, but I went. And apparently when you jump off a cliff, you're supposed to land straight, but I didn't get the proper tutorial, and I landed in the shape of an L, bottom first. And I annihilated myself. I was so lucky for so many reasons after that accident. I was lucky that the significant pelvic health and low back injuries that I sustained were not worse. And I was incredibly lucky that my primary care physician had the knowledge at that time to refer me to a pelvic health colleague. I think back 15 years ago, there was maybe a few hundred in the country. So I know that I'm very lucky. My course of treatment took several months, but ultimately helped me heal. And near the completion of my plan of care, my pelvic PT said, Amanda, you need to quit pediatrics. You need to do this. You need to train up. You have the right personality for it, and there aren't enough of us. So I did. And though my love for pediatrics and gait mechanics never went away, my passion to help others, as I had been helped, led to a new path for me. When I first entered the field of pelvic health physical therapy, I was struck by how misunderstood and underserved this area of health was. Yet it was clear to me that addressing pelvic health meant addressing the very foundation of human function and dignity. And I knew I had found not just a new career, but a calling. And over the years, I've had the privilege of working with individuals during some of their most vulnerable moments, recovering from cancer treatments, childbirth, regaining bladder control, managing pain, and reclaiming intimacy. They remind me that pelvic health is not just about physicality, but about empowerment, confidence, and quality of life. One of the greatest privileges of my career has been witnessing the incredible strides that we've made in pelvic health awareness in the last 15 years. From reducing stigma on behalf of our patients to putting out data to foster the great clinical work that we do. The field has grown in ways that I had only dreamed of when I began. But there's still a lot of work to be done. Our patients and vulnerable populations need us to continue to work together and direct our energy in positive ways and towards producing and publishing data and education and providing exceptional and compassionate clinical care. My journey would not have been possible without the support and inspiration of so many people, and I'd like to thank a few who've been essential in my growth as a pelvic health provider. And this is where I lose it. MJ, you probably don't know this, but I was so lucky to take my first CAP course with MJ. MJ, you were my very first day of pelvic health education. After 3 intense days of learning, I was exhausted but enthralled and fueled by MJ's passion for pelvic health. She's concise, held us to high standards, and I was stretched mentally and knew that that level of challenge I experienced would make me a sharper clinician. I then proceeded to drive all over creation and take all of my remaining CAP courses with MJ. MJ's call to action is to always know exactly what you are implementing, why you are implementing every component of care. This has made me a stronger clinician in every way. I'm so thankful for her. Sandy. Sandy Gallagher became my mentor later in my career when I wrote my first draft of my 2-day course on pelvic health and running. There was not nearly the body of evidence in 2018 when I wrote that original course, but I knew that a bridge had to be built between the orthopedic literature and the existing pelvic health literature to provide better care for runners. Sandy's passion for this orthopedic bridge is undeniable, and she was the perfect match for me. The literature in pelvic health and running space has grown significantly since I first taught the course, and it's now completely different. And since then, Sandy and I have gone on to write and publish a clinical commentary with our amazing colleagues, Rita Deering and Shefali Christopher, on postpartum return to running. When Sandy won this exact award a few years ago, someone wrote that Sandy is like a husky dog in an Iditarod, excited to go and barking to move forward. And that is exactly what Sandy brings in all of her work. Sandy's attention to detail and feedback has made me a stronger instructor. I want to thank Sandy, Janice Mitchell, and Shefali Christopher for nominating me. Each of your individual work is truly inspiring, and I'm thankful to call you a friend. Finally, I want to thank Erin Wilt, my business partner at Intimate Rose, For the last 9 years, he's helped to make my dreams for pelvic health a reality. Our very first year exhibiting at CSM was in 2017, and it was Aaron and me and a vaginal weights. There was 2, one on the right and one on the left. We've designed and developed every tool together, and his business knowledge, tenacity, and mission to work towards the vision of how things should be instead of simply how they are has allowed us to support clinicians and patients, as well as projects and grants that are important to me. His partnership has made me a stronger person. In closing, I want to highlight that our collective mission continues. My hope is that together we will continue advocating for pelvic health to be recognized as a cornerstone of well-being, that we continue to train and inspire the next generation of pelvic health professionals, and that we strive to make this care accessible to all people. Whether you're just beginning your journey or if you've been practicing for years, remember every day that your work matters profoundly. And together we are transforming lives, one patient at a time, and together we are moving pelvic health forward. Thank you.